we're back, YouTube. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I appreciate that. Today, let's review Arco. Over the course of 5 chapters, you play around 4 different characters in a Wild West Middle American setting, and it's very well chosen. It looks gorgeous, but I'll get to that. So you play a boy whose village was burned down, supposedly by newcomers. You play a man looking for revenge. You play a native boy who wants to become a warrior, that sort of stuff. And these stories are really interesting, although not as fleshed out as I would have wanted it because of the sort of revisionist Western that this game wants to be. Because the game sort of switches between the characters, the stories are a bit cut short here and there. The story is told, or the stories I should say, through some beautiful pixel art, and it draws inspiration from games like the Oregon Trail, Gold Rush, and more recently Curious Expedition. And the characters kind of look like the little people from Sensible Soccer, so it's very well done. They're running around, and it sort of has that sort of vibe and feel to it. The game also has a beautiful soundtrack with loads of these spaghetti western themes and tunes, and some Spanish music thrown in. It's very gorgeous. Using a map, you travel from screen to screen. There's quite a bit of exploration going on. You'll run into characters that will give you quests. You can find certain items that will be useful when you're into combat, that sort of stuff. It's really cool, and every screen has something new for you to look at. Usually you will run into combat situations, and the combat is very interesting in this game. It's sort of a turn-based type of combat where you can move the character for a limited duration or direction, and then the enemy will move, and you can also use your skills as well as using things in the environment to your advantage, like hiding behind a pillar or something like that. So the variety of the characters, you get to play a lot of different characters that have their own skill set, which is very interesting. And the thing about the combat, I mean, it's kind of hard to explain, but the screen sort of turns into an arena, and you have to really think in a strategic way where you can look at the various enemies that are thrown at you, and then each of the enemies will do something, like he's gonna move, and you can anticipate that using your skills. Or is he going to shoot? So should I move away from him? That sort of decisions you have to take or make, and that's really very enjoyable. It's very strategic, and it usually boils down to finding a way to counter the skills that are used by the enemies with your skills to get the upper hand. I vividly remember various fights where, for instance, I had to fight a sniper at the edge of the screen, and that had me zigzagging over the screen to get close to him in order to dispose of him. There was a fight with a big toad, and then I had to figure out a way to make it flip over so his belly was exposed, and then you can do damage to him. That sort of stuff is really very interesting. Also, at times you can hook up with an NPC and you can switch between the two in a fight to maximum effect, and it's really a very nice way of and it sort of spices things up and mixes things up. Also some boss fights, some are optional, some not, that require quite a bit of thinking and the environmental items or things that are there. Again, I really like that. After a successful fight, you get XP that you can use to unlock more skills for that particular character. Like, for instance, at the beginning, my character could only use one projectile with his magic bow, but as you progress, you can unlock more arrows for the bow to use in one turn, that sort of stuff. So it's really very cool. I really like all these things in the game. Are there things I didn't like about the game? Well, sometimes it does get tedious, the combat, as you have to work through like 3 or 4 waves of enemies. That can be challenging for some people. but usually it is quite balanced. Once you think about your strategy, then there is usually an optimal way to do things. Also, there is some backtracking here and there if you want to explore some side paths, so to speak. And you have to go through various screens that I already visited, and nothing else was there to do. Also, at some points, the game sort of cut me off from early areas because I wanted to come back and do fights, but the game did not allow me to do that, which was a bit, unfortunate, because I want to explore these areas. I want to do all the things that the game has to offer. Also, I experienced some crashes here and there and some stuttering, and it seems that the game isn't overly optimized yet. I guess this will be fixed in due time. Also, this is a little annoyance, but it's a small thing, but still. Every time the game loads, you see all these files being loaded in, which is not very immersive. It looks a bit sloppy. I would have liked to be presented with some art or something like that, so that the game loaded in the background and not in the forefront. But it's a small thing, but surely this might also be fixed. So the game could use a little polish in presentation here and there, but overall, I have to say this game was a blast. I really enjoyed this. Fun and good stories, inspired by spaghetti westerns, all these things, and some really cool tactical combat thrown in there. So yeah, this caught me by surprise. Really good game. Will be fixed probably in the future, and comes recommended. So thanks guys for watching so far, and see you in the next one.